What is going on, everybody? Jon Impemba here with Andrew Cooper. Welcome into the Fantasy Alarm Game Day Playbook Live show. It is NFL Week 2 here, Coop. How are we feeling, man?
Feeling good, man. Fired up. I love Sunday morning. It's just something about the crisp air and the waiting for the beautiful sport of football to enter our lives here, and the hectic start sits and last minute decisions. I love all of it. So this is my favorite show. This is my favorite show of the morning. The other one is great and all, but this one, dude, with everybody hanging out, I see the chats already lining up and done. Dude Love, Lucky Lebo, Coulter. Like this is what it's all about, right, John?
100%. I mean, obviously, we love the Fantasy Alarm family. We love getting in here on Sundays, being able to help you guys with your start-sit questions, breaking down the news of the day, the top stories, the headlines. If you have betting, DFS questions, we're here to help you guys out as well with that. And, of course, those of you who are not yet members of the Fantasy Alarm family, we have our 7-day free trial still going on right now, so you can check that out. Go to fantasyalarm.com/win when you sign up for an all-pro subscription, whether monthly or annual. Your first 7 days are free, which means you can get today's DFS and all-pro content for free all the way through next week. But this is a limited time. Little Birdie has told me the 7-day free trial is not lasting forever. So you want to take advantage of that now here and become a member of the Fantasy Alarm family. And Coop, we are getting a ton of questions already in chat. I know you and I want to hit on some of the top stories of the day here. So quickly, thoughts on Christian McCaffrey going on IR, and now report this morning, maybe out more than 6 weeks by Ian Rappaport. We have A.J. Brown, a highly questionable for tomorrow's game for Monday Night Football against the Falcons. Just a lot of different injury news popping up in top stories. What are your thoughts?
Yeah, I mean, with Jordan Mason, it went from something where it's like if you had him, you would turn to the CMC owner and try and get whatever you can. Then it turned into, okay, I need something that's going to start for me. Now it's kind of looking like I might just hang on to this guy because this could, I mean, you never know with these situations. Like it could be something where McCaffrey's never right, or it's even a split. And even a split in this offense, you're playing with house money here. So I don't know. I think I'm holding on. With A.J. Brown, my general take is this. And of course, get your A.J. Brown questions in. But if there's an option on the wire, and I'm talking even a Darnell Mooney or a Jahan Dotson, if you can add, especially Mooney, if you can add Mooney or Dotson or even a Tyler Algier, let's say you can move A.J. Brown to your flex spot, right? If you can add one of those guys and hold out and wait for A.J. Brown, then do it. If those guys aren't available and we're talking as low as like Ray McLeod, then maybe you play it safe if you have another great option. But A.J. Brown is just too good to not give yourself that chance, right, John?
Yeah, I agree with you. Obviously, we always suggest if you can find ways to have that safety net, you can certainly plug them in and swap them out. You definitely want to have them in your flex, at the very least, in case something like that ends up happening here. But too good. Great matchup here as well against the Falcons for him. Let's just get into it. Like I said, we got a lot of questions already popping into chat here. So what's the first question you got on your board here, Coop?
First one I have is James Keefe. Is that what you're seeing?
What I'm seeing. The time on that was throwing me off. It's 6:33 p.m. I was like, where's that one coming from? Hold out on Brown or Tank Dell. I think you play Tank Dell.
I think you play Tank Dell in that case. Unless, honestly, James, if you can reasonably drop somebody and add Darnell Mooney, then maybe hold out, but probably Tank Dell. I mean, they didn't use the fullback. We thought this team was going to continue to use the fullback like they did last year. They didn't do that, which means that they're going to use 3 wide receivers. Nico Collins also is kind of sick, and he's going up against Jalen Johnson. And Dalton Schultz has an ankle issue. So, I mean, if there's ever a time to start Tank Dell, it's now.
Definitely. Dude Love popping in. Stafford or Mayfield, a half PPR, needs 3 of Neighbors, Ayuk, Olave, and McLaurin. I think I'm going to go Mayfield here this week. The one thing I went over with Howard Bender is I am a bit worried about the pass rush of the Lions versus the offensive line going with Baker Mayfield and the Tampa Bay Buccaneers. Last week against the Commanders was obviously the best matchup. He was at home. Commanders defense is terrible. The secondary for the Lions is not good, but their pass rush is obviously very elite, and they could cause some havoc there. But I like Mayfield here. I love the weapons with Godwin and Evans in that spot. Receivers, they need 3.5 PPR. Where are you going, Coop?
Yeah, I know those are some good players. I'm definitely going to start Ayuk and Olave. Like Olave, the game script was very strange, but his usage was good. The setup for that offense using the fullback. So they did use the fullback, unlike the Texans. And that allowed for Shaheed and Olave to really be the only two wide receivers out there on a lot of plays, which is great for them. So I'm using those two guys. And then just the way I personally play is I lean into what I think is the highest upside play if I have a bunch of good options. And I think it's still Marvin Harrison Jr. in a game with a 48-point over-under, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, you feel the same way?
Yeah, I do. Again, and we talk oftentimes like when it's talked about and sort of like pointed out the lack of targets or the fact that he was even open. They make it a point almost to like involve him more in the offense here. So
The get right game
the get right
here.
game always here.
I didn't both Jaden Daniels and Daniel Jones did not look good throwing the football, to be honest with you. So I don't know.
Yeah, so Daniels actually come from a completion percentage wise, like 72%, but he was a lot of easy throws. He missed some of the more downfield plays. And I do like attacking the Giants secondary here, but I think Neighbors it would be a guy I would play today. I know you mentioned Daniel Jones, but again, Commander secondary might be the worst in football, and they lost Emmanuel Forbes to IR, and he was not good, but starting. Now they have a guy that couldn't start over him playing. I think Neighbors is a pretty solid option today. We got another one from Twitch here, or Twitter rather. Collins, Brown, Neighbors, Dotson or Mooney are on waivers, so could make a move to pick somebody up. Would you pick up Dotson and then just wait out the H.A. Brown?
He says they're not available on waivers.
Oh, not
okay. In that case, I think you just start Collins and Neighbors. You have good enough options, And again, if those guys aren't available, I don't know if like Neighbors. I feel like is good enough that you don't want to risk starting Ray McLeod.
Yeah, I agree. The Dino in here. Good morning. Need a running back into flex. Jones, Charbonnet, McConkey, Brian Thomas Jr., Deontay Johnson, PPR league.
And I thought Aaron Jones looked good, but he's going up against the 49ers. I think I'm still starting Aaron Jones. And I think I'm going to also start Brian Thomas Jr. John, you were right. I was wrong on him. I was kind of shading. Look at that smile. Look at that smirk over there. I was shading away from him a little bit, but man, he looked good. Incredible touchdown, both throw and catch. So I like him. And then I'm probably not going to start Deontay Johnson here. So it's Charbonnet is the only show in town against the Pats, or Lad McConkey, who looks he looked like the best pass catcher on. They get the Panthers as well.
They get the Panthers here. I agree with you. I think I'm going to give Deontay Johnson a chance again here this week to make some plays against the Chargers. Chargers are coming across country. They obviously looked good last week-ish, defensively, but they certainly weren't perfect. I would go with Aaron Jones. I just think he's the better player.
Yes.
And then, Brian Thomas Jr. He's got Cleveland. Cleveland's defense is pretty good, but I think that kid is just going to be explosive. So that's where I would rock it. And Dunn says, good morning. Lucky Lebo needs a wide receiver and a flex from Metcalf, McLaurin, Ford, Montgomery, and Moss.
So Metcalf, again, not a great matchup for him. I'm starting David Montgomery for sure at the flex. So the question is between Metcalf or McLaurin for me.
Okay. Yeah, I think the thing that holds me up on the Metcalf thing is like we obviously watched the Patriots game, right? We saw the defense shut down the Bengals. Jamar Chase didn't have a great game. Metcalf didn't look good last week. They basically took him out of that game. Did Denver. If they just bracket coverage and then put Christian Gonzalez on Metcalf, like it could just be another Tyler Lockett type day. So
I think that's what they're going to do. I think that's what's going to happen because if you watched Ryan Grubb in college, like he had no problem going with the low hanging fruit and throwing to McMillan and throwing to Jalen Polk when they faced good corners. So I guess I think I would go McLaurin there. That's kind of tough, but McLaurin and Monty.
Yeah, I think that's where I'm going to go as well. Richardson or Fields. I'm still going to go Anthony Richardson here, though. I understand the appeal for Fields. If you're in DFS today, you can play a one-off Fields because he's like $5,200. You don't need to stack him with anybody. You can just pray he runs for like 80 and a score and pay off his price tag. But if you're talking seasonal, no, you're going to go Anthony Richardson against the Packers today. Follow-up question to that: flex PPR, Dobbins or Worthy?
Dobbins, man. Dobbins against the Panthers. He looked so good last week. And Worthy, he made some explosive plays, but he still didn't quite play a huge snap share. He technically only got 3 targets, so I'm going Dobbins.
Yeah, I mean, listen, obviously Dobbins, 2 chunk yardage plays, right? So, like, you look at his stats, they look great. It's also good that he's able to break off those chunk yardage plays, right? So if he has that ability to get those big plays, now he didn't score. He got on those runs, he got chased down, but running against the Panthers is certainly a way to attack them. So I'm fine going Dobbins. If you want the ceiling, I think Worthy has the ceiling, right? He had 2 touchdowns and 4 touches, right? Like, he's definitely an explosive guy there. And now that maybe Hollywood Brown is officially done for the year, they're going to look to ramp up his workload sooner rather than later.
If you take away those 2 big plays for Dobbins, he still had a higher yards per carry than Gus Edwards. I think that I'm hoping they do the right thing and get him more work today.
Yep, I hear you. Angie wants to know PPR, ETN, Ramondre Stevenson, or Metcalf.
I honestly, if this is my league, I would start Travis Etienne. But Ramondre looked really good, and we know that JaMychal Hasty and Antonio Gibson are banged up.
Yeah.
What do you think, John?
Dude, they fed him 20-plus targets. Now, they had the benefit of playing from ahead, so the game script allowed that for them. But, it's only a 3-point spread. They're home. They're coming off of a big win. The defense looked really good. On the flip side, the Seahawks really didn't look great outside of Kenneth Walker, who's not active. And obviously, they force-fed Tyler Lockett because the team was, the Broncos are just allowing him to be the open receiver. So if the Patriots get ahead at all in this game, I think Ramondre is going to be just given a whole lot of targets again. So I'm fine going Ramondre Stevenson. He even caught a couple of passes as well. ETN running up against Cleveland defense.
Browns, yeah. Right? I mean, that's a close one, Angie. I still have ETN ranked ahead, but maybe I got to move Ramondre Stevenson up.
Yeah, again, I'm trying to put my Patriots biases aside here, but Ramondre Stevenson was a really good running back. I have no problem going there. And again, I'm still out on Metcalf. Today.
Out on Metcalf today.
Deciding between Moss or Charbonnet for a non-PPR.
I mean, Zach Moss got all the work in all phases. Going up against the Chiefs, though, I just feel like if you're not going to start Charbonnet, and this goes to the question we had earlier with Charbonnet from the Dino Fontaine, if you're not going to start Zach Charbonnet now in this situation against the Patriots with no Kenneth Walker, then you should trade Charbonnet for literally anything. I think I personally would start Charbonnet today as the only show in town over Zach Moss going against the Chiefs.
Yeah, I guess you could go that way because 2 things here, right? If Seattle's for playing from behind, Charbonnet likely gets some passing work here. If they're playing from ahead, he is their lead running back, so he should be getting most of the plays there.
Whereas Moss,
they do still have Chase Brown there. If
they have Chase Brown, and they're big dogs, they're 6.5 point dogs, 6 point dogs.
Charbonnet, I think in this instant works.
I like Charbonnet.
Freiermuth or Henry.
I have that question in a lot of my leagues as well. I am starting Pat Freiermuth just because he did get the 4 targets, which was actually a gigantic target share considering how little they threw. And Hunter Henry, I mean, I like both plays this week, but I'm going with Muth over Hunter Henry.
What are your thoughts on Austin Hooper's involvement too? Like, they used both tight ends last week.
Well, Hunter Henry quietly led the team, not just the tight ends, but all pass catchers. He led all pass catchers in snaps and routes run. Well, yeah, they put Hooper in there for some seemed like kind of designed plays even at times. So that, that's kind of the difference maker for me. Both guys played a lot, but one guy got 4 targets, one got 3. And I think Arthur Smith wants Freiermuth involved. And Freiermuth played 80% of his snaps from a wide receiver spot.
Yeah.
So, that's key for upside. Not to mention George Pickens is facing Patrick Surtain death tonight.
Right.
So ball's got to go somewhere.
Jake Ferguson officially ruled out. So that gives me I have a question on 2 value tight ends for DFS today. Luke Schoonmaker expected to start. 2nd round pick of theirs, expected to kind of plug into that role. Be the same type of player where you could kind of plug and play a $2,900 Luke Schoonmaker. And then what's your thoughts on Foster Moreau? It saw 77% of the offensive snaps. He's only $2,600, had the 4 catches in the touchdown last week. Would you take a stab at any of those value tight ends today?
The Foster Moreau was kind of fugazi. He played 51 snaps, like you said, but they were taking him out of the game for a lot of pass plays, and he blocked on 6 pass plays. So he actually only ran 13 rounds. Like, that to me is not a guy I'm going to try and throw in there. To be honest, if I'm going to dig through the wire for a bargain play, I would go with either Hayden Hurst, who played 84% of the snaps from a wide receiver spot and got 4 targets himself, or I would go with Jordan Akins, who I think the Browns said they were thinking about signing someone, and then they didn't. Yeah. So he's the only show in town. Schoonmaker actually split snaps with Brevin Spann-Ford. I know he's more of a blocker, but
yeah.
I don't know. Okay. I think I'd just go with the veteran, Akins.
Getting the game, saying is it time? Says good morning. Good morning to you there, Tommy. Charbonnet, Javonte, and Palmer need one for PPR for Ann.
I'm going Sharps, man. I'm in on Sharps today. I think he's a good player. And Kenneth Walker looked really good in this offense. So if he can be he's obviously not Kenneth Walker, but if he can be a part of Kenneth Walker, I think he'd have a really good day.
I'm going to go Javonte Williams. Sorry, Ann. We're going to split the difference here. Ani Coop in chat saying hello. Looking for cheering for the Rams today against the Cardinals. YouTube's glitchy. Yeah, Rex, we know.
We're up, Rex.
Trust me, I am working on that to solve that problem.
Somebody's catching an earful from John today.
From the other screen right now for me. Don't worry about it.
Yes.
What do we got here? 1 running back, 2 flex. Zamir, Madison, Chase, Brown, Jacoby, Dowdle, McConkey, or Irving. Need 1 running back and 2 flex there. I don't think Jamar Chase is that's Chase Brown. Okay, Chase Brown.
Yeah.
I was like, whoa,
this is where you do bite the bullet and start Zamir White, because we didn't like his usage. We don't like the matchup, but he's just in a better position than those other guys. I mean, you can make an argument though that they'll use Madison more if they throw him, if they are forced.
Yeah, he got 6 catches in that game.
So you could make that argument, but I don't know. I just don't know if like in that split backfield, you have one guy that's guaranteed to get the carries and Zamir White, and one.
My problem is the game script of that does not tend towards Zamir White. Like they're going to be they're 8.5 point underdogs. I think it is on the road in Baltimore today. So Madison, if he's going to have the pass catching role, like I think that would be the direction to go at running back there. Or if you're a believer in Howard Bender, you play Bucky Irving and wait for him to overtake Rashad.
Well, I'm definitely starting Ladd McConkey of the group. So Ladd McConkey, he's going to be in one of my flex spots. You have to start a running back. If it's full PPR and you want to play into the narrative, then go with Madison. If it's half or standard, then I would just take the carries with Zamir.
Sure.
And then Rico Dowdle getting guaranteed half a job, John. Or
Zeke got the touchdown though, so we know that's going to be his role, right? He's going to be the short yardage red zone guy. I think I go Jacoby Myers, honestly.
Yeah, go Jacoby.
Again, they're going to be playing from behind. They're going to have to throw, so I think that's where I would go. All right. Rex saying good morning. Super flex has Fields or Lawrence full PPR and get a point for every carry. Do you get a point for carries for quarterbacks? So then that's Fields.
If you get a point for carry, it's Fields. I mean, it's simple as that. Like he doesn't even have to throw well at all. I mean, historically, he hasn't. He was the QB6 2 years ago. He only threw for 2,200 yards, right? Yeah. So it's got to be Fields and something like that.
It was a half PPR, Ethan said. So
I'm starting Zamir still. I think in half PPR, Zamir outscores Madison this week.
Okay. It says he's gonna be some YouTube glasses. The problem is everybody's talking from YouTube. I'd constantly have the YouTube glasses. I have like some sunglasses.
I was also with John yesterday and forgot to bring him the Twitch glasses. So
if I just wear these, does this work here, Coop? What do you think? We just rock
those work? Yeah, the Twitch glasses. My Twitch glasses go black for Twitch.
Just rock the sunglasses. The problem is it's dark and then I can't really see the screen. So
you can only short spurts.
I can't wear it the whole time. Let's see. What do we got? We got Chuba, Javonte, Tank, and JMO. 2 in the PPR.
Tank definitely this week. I like the Tank situation, given that given what we know with the Nico Collins being sick and having a tough matchup. I like Tank, and then Chuba didn't really get the usage. Like if you're gonna be the running back on a terrible team, I need you to get all the work, and that didn't happen. So I can't go with him. It's either Javonte.
Was he given the opportunity to get the work though? Because they were basically blown out of that game almost immediately.
No, they split from the start. Miles Sanders is playing way more than we thought he would. He played He played.
Well, Miles Sanders, we think is a good running back, right? Like he just hurt all last year.
Just
like,
hurt. So I think that's the problem there. And then you have Javonte Williams, which I think is a PPR fine.
I like Javonte, but I'm also a big JMO truther. So
if JMO didn't have the ankle, and the thing is, if JMO didn't have the ankle, he'd be a killer start, especially in DFS.
Limited or didn't practice all week, but they said he's expected to play today. So
Antoine Winfield's out, John.
Yeah.
So
no, dude, I'm a big fan of that game. I have that stacked in some lineups.
Just go.
Example lineups are out there. JMO's and GBPs for us. So
just go full upside, tank and JMO.
Yeah, I would
go.
Go tank and go JMO. Get some big long touchdown catches.
Try to make a DFS lineup that's tank, JMO, and Xavier Worthy. Xavier Worthy. Just
Xavier Worthy in your flex. Yeah.
Full on boom bust.
PPR wide receiver flex, Neighbors, Pickens, Harris, Charbonnet, and Ford. Again, I like Neighbors today, even though we're not high on the quarterback. This matchup is just too good.
Matchup for Pickens is real bad.
Yeah, no Pickens for me. I like it's either Harris or Ford.
I like Najee Harris. I mean,
20 carries last week.
Arthur Smith is like ground. They used so many tight ends. John, there were about 60 snaps in the game last week, 60 offensive snaps. The tight ends combined for 135. They're just tight ends all over the field out there for the Steelers.
Let's see here.
Scampers.
Chris Morning here. Stress is back.
That's right. The stress of start decisions, but we're here to help you through all that.
Zamir or JSN?
JSN.
I agree with you. Need two. Collins, Stevenson, Jacobs.
I think I would just go Jacobs and Stevenson. These guys that play when they're sick. I mean, last week we watched Jamar Chase, who was sick, going up against a good corner, and it was ugly. And I guess Nico's been sick enough for them to say, "Hey, this guy's so sick, we have to list him as questionable." So I think I'll go with Jacobs and Stevenson.
I agree. Let's see. Should I start Gardner Minshew? Tommy wants to know.
Tommy,
what's Raiders, your other options, man?
He's a Raiders fan and you don't like Minshew. Tommy's the Nate O'Connell guy. I think that's what that means. I mean, I don't mind Minshew.
Yeah, well, again, it depends on what the options are, right? I mean, they're going to be playing from behind, so
I think Tommy just wanted to bash Minshew. I think that's what that comment.
He's a Raiders fan, so Dubs or Moss? I'm not doing anything with the Packers today. So there goes Zach Moss there. Richardson or Daniels? This one's tougher. I mean, Daniels has the better matchup from like a game script perspective, I think, because if Malik Willis is as bad as we all expect him to be, this could be just a game where like Jonathan Taylor gets a whole bunch of work and they're just running the ball, and Richardson isn't having a ceiling game because he's forced to make plays. Yeah. I think I go Daniels in this spot.
Daniels, wow. You're the QB whisperer, so I'm showing you United.
I think both are fine, but I'm leaning Daniels today.
Right. Yeah.
ETN, Ford, Tank or Tank Bigsby. Well, you're not going to play the backup to ETN here, so.
I mean, you were saying that with the Ravens. Yeah. I'm just messing around. The ETN played way more pass snaps, and they split the carries evenly. So as much as people are panicking over Bigsby getting half the carries, that still means that ETN got 75% of the total work because he played like all the pass plays and then got half the carries versus if it was.
I mean, Ford's getting all the work too. He had a pretty big day against Dallas. If you think him against Jackson was a better spot.
Yeah, I'm sticking with the player that I believe is most talented in ETN.
Sure. So that was ETN for you?
ETN for me, yeah. And then also, like, Deshaun Watson looked real bad. That team might just be the Browns might just be the 2023 Jets, where they have a good defense and they have solid special teams and their offense is bad. And it turns the games into a black hole for football, for fantasy football. And as you see, the over-under is once again 41. Like, I don't know, dude. I think that just the Browns might just be a mess for fantasy.
Yeah, this is tough because I think both players are in great spots today. I lean Debo, but like again, Connor is one of my favorite running backs today. So
David Montgomery, literally in overtime against this Rams team, they just ran David Montgomery up the gut until the game was over. So I think I might go James Conner.
Yeah. Okay. That's fine. But again, I have no real
that's a tough one. That's a real
arguments.
tough one.
I would love to know what the rest of your lineup looks like, but that's your decision today, honestly.
Probably awesome. Probably won't even matter.
Great team. Wan'Dale Robinson and his 12 targets last week, or Brian Thomas Jr. found the end zone?
I think you got to go. Even in full PPR, I'm going upside with the higher PPR player, Brian Thomas.
Okay. That's fine by me. I think that's, again, it's a tougher spot for Brian Thomas today. So Skinny saying like the smash button. Love that from you.
Like the smash button.
Hit the like, hit the share, hit the subscribe. Free way to support what we do here over at Fantasy Alarm. Our guy Dan's got a trade question. He asked me this on the green yesterday. I told him to keep Mason. Let's see what your perspective is. Trade Jordan Mason to the CMC owner. We get back something like Pollard as an RB2-3. Not much depth. I have Mason, Stevenson, and Singletary. With the report today that CMC is going to be out at least 6 weeks, if not more, I don't know how you trade Jordan Mason.
You only trade him.
It's an Achilles injury. There's a chance that even if CMC comes back, he's not 100%, or he may not come back at all. It's Kyle Shanahan. We have no idea. Right. So I would keep Mason, man.
You need something that drastically, in my opinion, drastically upgrades your lineup for the rest of the season. And Tony Pollard to me is still ranked in like the RB3 range. I need somebody that's like a square RB2. And for your team, I rank Stevenson ahead of Pollard, and I'm not sure Singletary's probably not that far behind Pollard. So I don't know. To make that move, I need to get somebody that's going to be in my lineup every week for the rest of the year. I'm talking like David Montgomery or a James Conner or an ETN or something like that.
Yeah. I said he could also get DJ Moore in another league where he has Mason. I have Mason everywhere. You having Mason everywhere means you were smart. We were telling people, like, listen, McCaffrey's been limited. It's the Achilles. And then once Eli Mitchell went down, like, Mason was the very clear backup, and you should be handcuffing him knowing CMC was going into the year not at 100%. So, again, you did the right thing. Why would you sell Mason after 1 week?
But if DJ Moore would be your wide receiver 2 or wide receiver 1, then I do that.
I don't even know, dude. Jordan Mason as an RB1 on an offense that loves to run the football the way they do?
Yeah, what happens if McCaffrey comes back and then he goes back in the bottle? Like,
he may not. He's out at least 6 weeks. For 6 weeks, you have a surefire RB1.
You could win enough games right now to make the playoffs.
Right. Plus, you don't know what Caleb Williams did not look good last week. So, I mean, we don't know what the offense is going to look like. The rookie quarterback. We assume it's going to be good, but it could be terrible.
Hoping for their sake. Hoping for their sake, it's good. Hoping for the sake of Ryan Poles. Because the funny thing is, people always talk about like, oh wow, there's such a great trade that they got DJ Moore and they got and they got Caleb Williams. But the reality is that there was a better move to do, which would have been to draft CJ Stroud with the first pick, right? If they had done that. So looking back, if Bryce Young and Caleb Williams are both terrible, then the Bears are no better off than they were before.
Yeah.
So I don't know. Getting a little we got too many questions to get.
A lot of questions.
It's philosophical thoughts on Ryan.
Metcalf and Najee Harris for a flex from Steve here.
I'm going Najee Harris. He looked great, man.
Good.
He looked great.
Worthy Shaheed Ridley. He has Mahomes 10 PPR. I like Shaheed, I think.
I love Shaheed. Yeah. Ridley's got not a good matchup.
No. Right? And Worthy obviously is just a home run hitter, but we talked a lot about it, right? The offense they're running now in the Saints, Shaheed was the number 2 wide receiver on that offense and played the snaps to hold up there. So I like it.
There's nowhere to hide for Calvin Ridley. Like the Jets, they have 3 incredible corners. There's no like way to move a guy around and get a better matchup.
And I don't think I'm dropping anybody for Algier or Ray McLeod here. I'd keep D-Hop, Irving, Conkey, and Levis.
Yep.
Yeah. I don't think I'd make it.
Because she has AJ Brown. I'm guessing she has AJ Brown.
I guess Ray McLeod then would be my
and if you do have AJ Brown, then I would drop
unless it's actually, you know what? Do Algier, put him in your flex, right? Because they play each other. If Brown's out, then you just play Algier, right?
And drop Will Levis. A single QB league, drop Will Levis.
Yeah, I agree there. Need one PPR in a flex. White, Johnson, Madison, Hill, and Palmer.
Just one. Deontay Johnson.
Yeah.
Josh Palmer,
is active. That just
active.
came out today, but
Right. No.
I think Deontay Johnson for me. If it was a better game script, Justice Hill looked pretty good last week, but I just think this is going to be a big Derrick Henry day.
It is, yeah. And Josh he's a guy where if he's fully healthy, it's a question. But I mean, you got a guy that we already don't really love, and now he's kind of banged up. It's just too many question marks on top of each other.
Yeah. Sutton or Charbonnet today?
I'm going Charbonnet, man. I'm in on Charbs.
Okay. Yeah, I can do that. That's fine. Juwan Johnson, Ty Chandler, Deontay Johnson for a flex. Scott Fishbowl spot here today.
Scott Fishbowl. So it is tight end premium, but Juwan Johnson only played 23 snaps out of like 60 something. So
well, that's why I asked you about Moreau. He got all the snaps. I understand Johnson got more routes run, right? Yeah, but like
it's just barely. I think Johnson ran 14, Moreau ran 13, but they called like 28 pass plays. So if these guys are playing 13 routes, I mean, to me that just means.
Do you think game script again? Because they were up by 40. Like if they're
they both scored touchdowns, but I think that if they're down, you see more Kamara, Olave, because what we have to remember is that Olave in most weeks is going to lead this team in targets or be one of the top targets. So is Rashid Shaheed, so is Alvin Kamara. So we're talking about an argument between Juwan Johnson and Foster Moreau to be the fourth target. Like if you even combine them into one person, I'm not sure I would love that player. So that's my concern. For me, I think we're just going to start Deontay Johnson. It's not as bad as the world has not ended. Bryce Young could have a better game. It's been one game.
I would agree with you. They're at home. Again, Chargers defense isn't great. So Ridley, Johnson, Wandale Robinson, or Dortch.
Yeah, Dortch, man, he only played 60% of the snaps, but when he was in there, they got him the ball.
Whole lot of targets. Yeah, whole lot of targets.
Same with Wandale. It's the same thought. Ridley, do not like Ridley this week.
It would be Deontay, or it would be, I think, Dortch for me today.
Yeah, I think I'm going to go with Deontay. Dortch is just too low upside. What exactly do we expect him to do? How many targets does he need to get 100 yards?
Who?
Greg Dortch. 50?
Well, I mean, if it's a full PPR, I mean, he doesn't need a ton to get 100 yards. You just need to get the volume, which he had last week.
Yeah, and it is a 48-point over-under, and they are favored by one.
They threw to him in the end zone. He was the one they threw the ball down at the end of the game. They didn't throw to Marvin Harrison Jr. They threw to him.
They should have thrown to Marvin Harrison Jr.
I agree with you, but they didn't. I like Dortch.
Stack Dortch and Murray.
Yeah, that's fine.
Have your way.
Again, Deontay Johnson would be my one play, but if you're off of Deontay, Dortch has the better quarterback. Yeah. London, Diggs, or McLaurin. I'm gonna go Diggs here.
Mm-hmm.
Better quarterback, better game, probably.
He's playing a lot of slot, which helps him with the matchups. He scored 2 touchdowns.
You just hope Nico Collins is actually active, I think, in that sense, and allowed to draw him to draw some tougher coverage there.
The inactives are out. I'll take a little peek at that.
Yeah, that game's Sunday night though for Houston. Yeah. Lost love. Need to choose between Geno Smith, Carr, or Cousins. For this week, I don't really. I want to say Cousins, but he did not look good. He looked absolutely terrible. I think Carr probably. If I had to pick one.
Taysom Hill only played 1 QB snap.
Yeah.
If they're committed to having Taysom Hill play fullback and tight end, and they're actually going to let Derek Carr play quarterback, because that's been the only knock on Carr is that they get down to the 5-yard line.
Yeah, they take him out of the game.
Right? But if he's going to play the whole game, then I don't mind it.
Yeah, go Carr. One more PPR: Charbonnet or Kirk.
I'm going to go Kirk. I think it's a better matchup for him this week than it was last week. So in full PPR, I will start Christian Kirk. There's some guys that are due for bounce back. So here are some official inactives. Okay. Officially active, this per Field Yates. So if any of these are wrong, you can yell at him. Jamison Williams and Jaden Reed will play. So they are active. Inactive, you have Jordan Love, Kenneth Walker, Jake Ferguson, Josh Downs, DJ Reed, and Marshawn Lattimore inactive for the Saints.
Yeah. So I have I did the example lineups today for the playbook, and there's a Dallas stack in there.
It's so easy.
CeeDee Lamb, Brandon
given Cooks. with all the cheap running backs, it's so easy to get CeeDee Lamb into lineups.
On FanDuel today, you can literally play everybody.
Everybody.
You can fit everybody in your lineup on FanDuel today. So we often say find the edge. FanDuel today feels like there's an edge to lineup building. So
Trey McBride is even with Dalton Kincaid already played, and there's no TJ Hawkinson. Trey McBride is the 5th most expensive tight end over there.
Yeah, what? It's insane. Charbonnet or Kirk? I think we
did that one. We did that one. We said Kirk.
Mason or Etienne for Dan in a PPR?
Jordan Mason. I have Jordan Mason ranked RB5. I mean, like, I couldn't rank him ahead of like Bijan and Breece Hall and Jonathan Taylor, but like, would you? The only real question was Kyron Williams or Jordan Mason, John. That's where I was hung up.
It's probably Kyron, I think, for the passing work, but I mean, they don't have a backup running back to Mason. They have Garundo, and they didn't even play him. So
yeah, so that's what I'm saying. So Kyron Williams, okay, so you could rank 5 guys maybe ahead of Mason, but then after that, you get into the tier that's like Joe Mixon, Alvin Kamara, Derrick Henry, and to me, I got to rank Mason ahead of those guys. So it doesn't get much better.
Start 2 for PPR: Ford, Monty, or Moss.
Monty and Moss.
Definitely Montgomery. Yeah. I might go Ford and Montgomery here.
Yeah, I think that's fair. It's a much better matchup. All right, we got to go rapid fire for a few here and get this squared away because we're getting
Brown owner worried about the Monday night pivot. Play London over Brown. Well, you have the luxury of starting London if Brown plays. Play Brown. So
yes.
Looking at Rice or Metcalf.
I'm starting Rashee Rice no matter what.
Yeah, Rice is auto play every week.
Yep.
McLaurin need another wide receiver out of Zamir White or Jameson Williams. I'm going JMO.
JMO, he's active. He's playing.
2 pet flex spots: Neighbors, Metcalf, Pollard, JMO.
I'd probably go Neighbors and Pollard. Pollard got the bulk of the work. And I think that, for me, running backs, when you have questionable guys, I skew towards the running back.
Yeah, that's fine. Thomas Jr. or Rashad White in a PPR. I would go White in this spot. He got so much pass work in that
75 receiving yards. Yeah. Hamburglar. Go with White.
Start 2, flex Jacobs, McConkey, Robinson, Johnson, Kirk, and Likely. Need start 2, wide receiver 2, and a flex. So you definitely flexing Josh Jacobs. Like,
yeah.
Even in like the spot he's in, you're definitely still flexing him.
Start Lad McConkey, man. I like Lad. Look good. I think it looked great.
Sure. Lad's fine. I don't mind that. It'd be him or Kirk, probably, I think, for me.
Yeah, definitely not.
Obi-Wan wants to know, worried about A.J. Brown, can grab Wan'Dale Robinson and Jalen McMillan or Chuba Hubbard.
I would see if Darnell Mooney's out there. See if any
Dotson
of
or Mooney, right? See if one of those guys are available.
Give yourself a shot at A.J. Brown.
Yeah. McLaurin or Lockett. I'm going to go McLaurin there.
Still McLaurin.
Toronto Dave in the chat.
Indeed.
Tight end premium, Hunter Henry, Schultz, or Hill.
I like Hunter Henry. Schultz is dealing with an ankle, plus he's the 4th target on the team. Justice Hill got good usage, but it's not the matchup that's good. It's not a good matchup for Hill, right, John?
Sure.
Like, if they were in the games that are going to be tough for the Ravens to run, you start Justice Hill.
Yeah. McLaurin or Tank Bisbee. I'm going to go McLaurin here.
Mm-hmm. Sure.
Jacobs or Stevenson.
That's closer. I'm still going Jacobs. Brute force Jacobs. The Patriots line is still really bad, John.
I know. So is Malik Willis.
I saw a stat that Ramondre Stevenson, all but 3 of his yards came
after contact. Yeah. Which again makes obviously he running it into the middle of the line. Like he's not an elusive back. I guess Jacobs, but I don't know, man. I'm higher on Stevenson, but
if it was Jordan Love playing, it wouldn't be a question.
No, of course not. But it's not. It's Malik Willis.
I know. I know. I'll go. It's crazy to say that Jacobs is the riskier option, but I think
Stevenson has a higher floor. I'll say, Brad. So depends on what your team needs.
Yeah.
Need 2 Javonte. Likely he's playing Andrews already. Dortch and Reed.
I mean, Reed could still get manufactured touches, but I don't want to do that.
So they're going to be creative today, you would assume, with Willis. So like they could do a bunch of end arounds, like Wildcat stuff. Maybe Reed get some volume there. So
like Jaden Reed's going to get those, but again, that's always been the question with Debo too. Is that like he's going to get the screens, he's going to get the end around.
Debo's a de facto backup running back on that team right now. He's lining up in the backfield.
Yeah. It's like, does he score a 30-yard touchdown on one of those, or does he not? That's like the question. So for me, I think I'm just going to start Javonte and Likely.
What's your Likely Andrews take today?
I think that they're both. I think everybody is jumping to the extremes on both sides. I think what's going to happen is this team's going to run a lot of 2 tight end sets where Andrews basically plays wide receiver and so does Likely. And that's just going to be the offense. You're going to have tackles, and then right next to the tackles are going to be 2 tight ends standing in the slot. And it's going to be probably a more even target share between Flowers, Andrews, and Likely, where they're all getting, instead of just 2 guys getting all the targets, it's going to be 3 splitting it now.
Yeah.
So I mean, that's so it's not as drastic on either side as people think.
Yep. Albert saying good morning. Scamper saying Lattimore's out. Pick 2 of Xavier Worthy, DK Metcalf, and Chris Godwin. Well, Godwin's one of my favorite players of all day. So
all day. Yeah, Godwin.
And I think I go Metcalf in this spot over Worthy.
Yeah, because Worthy, it's just we don't really know. Like unless you started like Tua and Tyreek and you really need the juice of like crazy upside, then just start Metcalf and Godwin.
Yeah, I agree. Parkinson or Henry today?
Henry, and the big part of that is that at that part of your lineup, you have to make a decision on whether you're going to roster them, right? And Henry has the same upside this week, but more long-term upside. Parkinson, like Puka's going to be back. Higbee could even come back and be annoying. Like Henry has the gig. I'm going Henry.
Great. Boys are live. Yeah, happy to have you there, TD Flip.
Let's get it.
Burrow, Daniels, Superflex. Daniels for me, Kangas, man.
Has to be. I need to see Burrow look like himself.
Yep. Need help in a flex spot? Swift, Pierce, or JSN?
Which Pierce? Alec Pierce, Damian Pierce?
It's got to be Alec Pierce.
I think the answer is JSN regardless.
Yeah, JSN today for me.
Howard doesn't like Swift. I don't mind him. I thought his usage was okay.
No, I don't mind Swift either. Yeah, his takes on Swift are always like, well, how long is he going to be healthy for? It's like, who cares? He's healthy
like for
right
the
now.
short term. Yeah, exactly.
He's healthy right now. Find him today.
He doesn't even let me answer a Swift question. He immediately says, not Swift. You know, so.
Yeah. Hey, well, did you have a lot of that today here?
Howard's pretty sharp. Yeah. Howard's pretty sharp. So, I mean, we don't love Swift, but I don't mind him.
I argue with Howard all the time. Jameson Williams is questionable. No, he's in, Jose. You're good there. But would you start Brandon Cooks, Shaheed, or Keenan Allen over him? I'm
starting Shaheed. I love Shaheed. I love that he played the whole game.
Would you play Shaheed over Jameson Williams?
Yes. Okay. Absolutely.
That works. Lazard, Sutton, or Elliott for Rob here.
What happened, Rob?
How do you argue I'll say the only maybe like deterrent to Lazard is that they said that Mike Williams will play more snaps this week, but what does that mean? Because he only played like 10 last week. So does he play 14 and it doesn't matter? Like, where are you with Lazard, Sutton, and Elliott here?
I can't start Allen Lazard.
Why?
Because it's one game and he caught. You know, it's like the second touchdown wasn't even thrown by Rodgers.
I agree, but the first one was.
I don't know, man.
Aaron Rodgers demanded he be acquired from Green Bay, and then he got hurt. If Aaron Rodgers doesn't get hurt last year and Allen Lazard goes out for like 800 yards, this is a no question you're playing Allen Lazard.
The guaranteed money in Allen Lazard's contract is more money than the combined amount that all the wide receivers and tight ends for the Packers are being paid. How crazy is that?
He's comfortable with them, you know. Well, okay, so if it's not Lazard, I mean, I don't really like Elliott here.
I start Zeke. I gotta start Zeke against the Saints.
All right.
They're big favorites. They're like 7. They're like a favorite by a touchdown. I don't know why. Like, I don't know.
They're home and their defense looked good last week. That's why.
Yeah, Zeke.
Wide receiver 1 and 2, RB 1 and 2, and flex. So we're setting his lineup for him today.
For Juan. Well, Breece Hall's in.
Walker's out, so you're definitely playing. Okay, you shouldn't have to ask this if you're playing Breece Hall. So you're playing Breece Hall and Kyren Williams.
Yes.
And wide receiver.
In the flex does he have to start a wide receiver? Oh, wide receiver 1 and 2. RB 1 and 2.
So it's Breece Hall, it's Kyren Williams as your running backs. It is Tank Dell, DJ Moore as your wide receivers, and your flex is going to be either Jacobs or Ford.
It's Josh Jacobs.
Josh Jacobs. There you go.
Good team. You have a good team.
You have a good team. I agree.
All right.
Marvin Jones Jr. and Malik Neighbors today. Marvin Harrison Jr.
I'm going Marvin Harrison. That game's supposed to be shootout.
Yeah. Dobbins or Jacobs? I'm going Dobbins there.
I think I'd go Dobbins. Yeah.
I am going Daniels over Richardson today, and then Pollard or Elliott. I'd go Pollard, I think.
Pollard, yeah.
PPR, Montgomery, Moss, or Allen, Monty.
Monty, it's too good.
Twitch gang in the chat from Brett.
There we are. There's a Twitch gang. Where you been?
Ford or Charbonnet?
See, I think you and I are split on this one.
I like Ford.
I like Charbonnet. So you're gonna have to get I hate saying you have to get another opinion, but we've been split on this. I do like Charbonnet, and again, why did you draft Charbonnet? If you're not gonna
Nobody knows, actually.
Nobody knows.
It was a very surprising draft pick.
If you're not gonna if you're not gonna use Charbonnet against the Patriots without Kenneth Walker playing, then why'd you draft him? That's my opinion. So if you like Charbonnet, if you liked him enough to draft him, then you start.
I think unless he picked him off waivers, and then you're just picking him off waivers to see if Walker's going to miss longer term, and then you get a better matchup.
I don't think the matchup's not bad. Like Christian Barmore's not playing. They traded away Judon.
Sure. Okay. Stroud or Mayfield? I'm going to Stroud.
Stroud still.
More of a shootout for Mayfield, but I still like Stroud.
Get Mayfield into a DFS lineup.
Yeah.
They're very affordable.
Agreed. Need 2 for a PPR. Metcalf, Moss, Devonta Smith, Christian Kirk. Well, you're definitely playing Devonta Smith.
Definitely, dude.
Even if obviously Brown played, you still want to play Devonta Smith there.
Goddard's got some like oblique thing.
Yeah, then Metcalf, Moss, or Kirk.
I'd probably start Zach Moss.
Okay. Doug wants to know Ford, Pollard, or Cooper need 2. Can't go both running backs.
The 2 running backs, yeah. Can't trust Amari Cooper right now.
Can't not trust him, no.
Mm-mm.
Pick 2 of Pickens, McLaurin, Adonai Mitchell, Christian Watson, J-Mo.
Boy, I don't like the matchup for George Pickens today.
No, I think it's McLaurin and Jamison Williams here.
I think it is, yeah. Watson with Malik Willis might be the hardest player on the planet to trust.
Dude, A.D. Mitchell had a chance for 2 touchdowns last week, but Anthony Richardson could not throw it to him. So need 1, Rashee Rice, Diggs, Montgomery, Moss. I mean, great team that you need to pick 1, but I think Rice is the play here.
Rice, yeah. It's a perfect storm for Rice to have a good week.
Agreed. J-Mo or DK?
It's DK, man. This ankle situation.
His injury history and propensity for getting hurt for Jameson Williams is not playing in his favor. But the man showed exactly why he was a first-round pick 2 years ago and like the best receiver in college.
He looked good, but I mean, they had to come out and say it. It was down to 11:30 for them to even say whether he was going to play.
I agree. Charbonnet or Pollard?
I think I just go Pollard here.
Belmer needs 2, Monty, McConkey, or Jameson Williams.
Am I playing him this week?
I'm playing him this week?
I'm starting Monty and McConkey. Monty McConkey.
I'm going to go with both Lions players.
Do it.
How do you like taking over the playbook? I did the playbook for Howard every now and again. It's no big deal. I do playbooks for all sports. We got an MLB playbook still going on. I do NBA playbooks. So
yeah, and we're back. The thing is, Rex, is we talk about this stuff all the time. So a lot of it is team effort. Even like even the like when I write my tight end stuff, like I'm taking into effect. I'm thinking about John saying that Baker's going to have a tough time with I read everybody's stuff. We talk about it. So it's a lot of
well-versed team here. Anybody can kind of step in and do the work here. So and it helps helps Howard get more time with you guys in our Discord. So if you want to go get your start sit questions answered from Howard Bender, man, go in the Discord right now. 7-day free trial. He'll help you out there. Well, don't leave us, but like you can ask him some questions too. But stay here and hang with us.
Just know that get your questions in before 12 because we're trying to cut off the time here. We're trying to keep it to an hour.
Yeah. Jameson Williams or Jaden Reed. I'm going J-Mo here.
Yep.
Deontay Johnson, Devin Singletary, Cortland Sutton.
I'll still go with Deontay Johnson. He gets the separation.
Yep. I'm facing Drew, so it's not me for Kev. Metcalf, Palmer, Stevenson, Connor. I like both running backs here.
Yep. James Conner, definitely. I mean, you saw how good David Montgomery looked against the Rams. Ain't no more Aaron Donald up there in the middle.
Yep. Looking for a pivot from A.J. Brown. Do I pick up D-Rob, Wandle, Tyler Johnson, Dortch, or wait and grab McLeod, Dotson last minute? I would pick up Dotson.
No, I wouldn't even wait. I'd pick up Dotson right now.
Yeah. Pick up Dotson right now and just wait it out. That's what I would do. Devonta Smith or Neighbors?
Smith.
Yeah, Smith. ETN and Waddle or Kamara and Devonta Smith in a trade? What?
I would take Kamara and Devonta Smith.
Kamara and Devonta Smith, 100%.
For sure, dude. Waddle's about to be catching passes from Skylar Thompson. Waddle has been banged up. Now he's catching passes from Skylar Thompson. I mean, like, I can't rank Waddle much higher than I rank somebody like Jordan Addison, right?
I mean,
like,
even if they bring in Ryan Tannehill, it's maybe a slight improvement, but like Tannehill hasn't looked great in like 3 years. So
you need to view Waddle like Jordan Addison, where he's a second fiddle with a QB that might not be able to.
You know what they need? They need Tom Brady to come out of the booth.
Bring him back, dude.
Bring him back. Bring him back. Number 12 in Miami.
Everyone be mean to Tom Brady on Twitter so that he leaves the booth. And comes back.
He leaves the booth. AR Murray. I'm gonna go Murray. The game flow. I just do not like Anthony Richardson. It's gonna kill me when he gets to do rushing touchdowns and not Jonathan Taylor. But it's where I'm at.
I have those guys. Richardson, Murray, Jaden Daniels are all back to back to back.
Yeah,
you know what I mean. So you can have some solace in that. There's probably not a super wrong answer. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
We skew Murray because, they're favored in the game that is a 48-point over-under. I mean,
this is a tough question here. In a PPR league, do you start Henry, Garrett Wilson, or Jordan Mason?
I mean, dude, if you're not going to start Derrick Henry against the
Raiders,
the Raiders, then when are you? You got to start Derrick Henry
at home and an 8.5.
Oh, Jordan Mason.
I know. Well, this is what I'm saying, but I still think it's Derrick Henry. But you have Garrett Wilson against Tennessee as well in a full PPR league. He got 11 targets last week.
What is the rest of your team, dude?
Yeah. I still think it's Derrick Henry.
Yeah.
You're probably sitting pretty with the way that team is going.
Yeah.
Start 103, Najee Harris, Hubbard, and Singletary. I think we're pretty much in on Najee Harris today.
Yeah, for sure.
AJ Brown or AD Mitchell cannot wait. Well, if you can't wait, then you have to play AD Mitchell. But
if you can't wait, then you got
to do it. There's nobody else that you can pick up.
If there's anybody else out there, Jack, like Darnell Mooney would be one for me. If Darnell Mooney's out there, grab him. Jahan Dotson, or if you can move AJ Brown to the flex and then maybe start like Tyler Algier. If those guys are out there and you have somebody on your bench you can drop.
Yeah. But honestly, if not, then you have to go AD Mitchell and hope that AR actually hits him this week.
You can't take a 0.
Murray over Stroud. No, I'm playing Stroud this week. Sit 1 of Kyron, Gibbs, Mason. You guys sit 1, 6 points per touchdown.
I would sit Gibbs.
I was going to say, you sit Gibbs. I mean, the touchdowns would do it for me there. Cowboys or Saints or Chargers versus Panthers.
If you can add the Panthers without dropping the if you can add the Chargers without dropping the Cowboys, I would do that, but don't drop the Cowboys.
No, yeah. I agree there. Lazard or Godwin. Godwin's my favorite player.
The God Kid Wonder. I think, you'd be surprised how high I have Godwin ranked this week. I mean, Cooper Kupp last week against this Lions team got 21 targets, but a lot of that was Puka.
They force-fed him the ball. Yeah,
14 targets out of the slot, and he caught 11. Like, Godwin is set up for big.
He was also getting open because the secondary is the weak spot for that team. So
and Godwin's healthy. Last year, he was dealing with a neck. He was dealing with a knee issue, and he still led the team in receptions.
Yeah, I would go Godwin here as well, even though I do like Najee. 4 Dobbins or JMO, need 2.
Dobbins, definitely. Okay. And then you like Ford and JMO, so you pick between those two.
Go Jameson Williams.
Those are your guys.
Kirk or Moss in a flex.
I think Kirk's due for bounce back. I think I like Kirk.
Again, this MMA Players team. Sick. If you had to decide between Garrett Wilson or Mixon, I'm going to go Mixon because the way he performed, and they're going to be ahead in this one. Though it is a very weird spread, Coop. Only 6-point home favorites for Houston today. Or tonight against Chicago. Feels low.
Yeah.
Feels low to me.
I'm still going Mixon.
Because
Chicago might not hold up their end of the bargain.
Yeah, I agree. Mixon just 130 yards last week. I mean, geez. Connors or Mason for a single entry. Mason, what's your risk aversion here? Because Mason is far and away the chalk play of the day. So if you want to be different and hope Connors, Mason doesn't go run for 140 and a score, and Connors gets PPR work and stuff, like go Connors. You'll get the leverage in tournaments there.
And again, to me, it also boils down to like the cost association, because that's another $1,200.
It is. You're saving a lot of money there.
If you go Mason, you can spend $1,200 somewhere else.
Yep. DFS start Bowers or Thielen in the flex.
Bowers at 4,400 is an absolutely viable flex play.
Are you adverse to doing double tight ends, Coop, or do you play double tight ends in DFS?
In cash, I do.
Okay.
In cash, I do. Not in like usually not unless it's like a crazy mispriced player, then I might. But if you're playing like 50-50s and stuff, Bowers is the best $4,400 player out there. The other guys are like Amari DiMercado, John, and like I mean, it's like at 4,000.
Half PPR, Charbonnet or Pollard.
I'm going Charbonnet. I got to move him up in my rankings.
DJ Moore, Pittman, or Charbonnet. You need two in PPR.
The two wide receivers.
Two wide receivers. Yep. What's my upset of the week for week 2?
I think I took Rams money line, but it's not really a huge upset. But
I was gonna say you took the Rams.
Yeah, big upset.
Carolina over the Chargers.
Mine's kind of crazy. I think that I don't see why the Buccaneers can't beat the Lions.
Buccaneers can beat the Lions.
I know their defense is banged up though. That's the big thing. But like
Carolina at home is where I'm going.
Baker got too much heart.
Kamara or Connor?
If full PPR, it's Kamara. If it's standard Connor, any sort of PPR, it's Kamara.
Ford or Robinson Jr. Ford, Robinson Jr., Devonta Smith, and a flex for PPR. It's already playing Hurts and Saquon, so he's just
good.
Full stack and
good. The more Eagles, the better. If you started Devonta Smith, AJ Brown, Hurts, and Saquon last week, then you obliterated.
Yeah.
Right. So start Devonta Smith.
Gary wants to know Allen or Swift. I think you have the luxury of waiting on. I'd probably play Swift anyways. Actually,
they said Keenan Allen is going to be limited regardless.
Yeah, I think I'd probably play Swift regardless.
Swift. Yep.
Jameson Williams for me over Worthy for Josh.
Hot one. That's a hot boy right there.
It is.
JMO, right?
Yeah. This one's interesting because, like, again, I don't know what the ceiling for Moss is. They're road underdogs to the Chiefs. You know that they're going to try to get Reed the football. So, where do you have a lean?
Yeah, it's Moss, dude.
Moss.
Packers might be. You have to consider the possibility that the Packers are complete dog water with Luke Wilson.
Well, that brings us to the next question. Then Jacobs or Worthy? You have to go Jacobs here, right?
I'm still going Jacobs.
Yeah. Replace AJ Brown with Dell, Shaheed, or Wandale.
Is Dell or Shaheed?
Yeah, I think I go Shaheed for game script.
Ooh, I like that.
I love Shaheed. Here we go. AJ Brown officially ruled out.
Okay.
So now you guys know.
Get him in there.
Now you guys know AJ Brown officially ruled out.
I like Shaheed. I think Shaheed is going to be the guy that just climbs and climbs and climbs until people recognize that with this setup for the offense, there's not a huge difference with what they want to do. It's exactly what the 49ers are doing. It's exactly what the Dolphins are doing. And the way you look at guys like Debo and Ayuk and the way you look at guys like Waddle and Tyreek Hill before the injury, that's how people need to start looking at Olave and Rashid Shaheed, to be honest.
I agree. Next question we got Charbonnet or Connor?
Connor,
yeah. Charbonnet and Pollard. A lot of people got Charbonnet questions. I guess they are probably all adding them off waivers.
Yeah, which is good. You're smart. I think I would still start Pollard, though.
All right, we got Diggs or Collins. Going to go Diggs here for me.
Diggs.
Yosivas, Cooper, or Cooks?
I have Brandon Cooks.
I like Cooks.
Situation. Yeah,
Cooks for me. Neighbors or Charbonnet? I'm going Neighbors.
Mm-hmm.
McMillan or Lazard?
I can go Lazard here. Yeah. Here's where I go Lazard.
Jose wants to know Foss and Morel.
No. He only ran 13 routes. He blocked on 6 pass plays. Like, that's not even a 50% route participation. Can't chase last week. We got to chase usage.
Start one of Neighbors, McConkey, Dell, or Metcalf.
Just one, huh? It's got to be Tank Dell, probably.
I like Neighbors.
Yeah, I guess it's trash. The secondary is trash for the
so bad.
All right, Neighbors.
Russ says we're superior to any other site. Well, appreciate you, Russ. Love it. Marvin Harrison Jr., Jameson Williams.
I'm going Marvin Harrison Jr. You can't afford to miss out on that potential shootout game.
Million to first on FanDuel. He's got Stroud and Mixon. Got to pick one from receiver, Diggs, Collins, or Dell. In tournaments, you probably want Dell.
Right? Yeah. In tournaments, you go for the guy that Dell last year only had 400-yard games, but when they were 100-yard games, they were 150-yard games.
Right.
Like, he has the potential to rip off big chunk plays. The ADOT for Diggs, he scored 2 touchdowns. His ADOT was like 1.5 yards. So Diggs, I like the role he's in for PPR, but they're using him in the slot.
Right. Yep. Agreed. But Brian Thomas or Jaden Reed, I'm going to go Thomas in this spot.
Yep.
Bears, Eagles, or Chiefs for defense. Eagles versus the Falcons for me.
Easily.
Teams
should just be blitzing.
Blitz
Cousins,
or Cousins rather, and it's a prime time game for Cousins. He's horrific in those spots. Goddard or Ingram in a PPR.
Gotta go Goddard with AJ Brown out,
and then Parkinson or Schultz.
Schultz is dealing with the ankle. He just got cleared on like Friday.
All right, we got like 6 questions, Coop. Let's rapid fire here. Jaden Reed, Brian Thomas. Burrow over Fields. I'm going to go Fields on the spot.
Fields, yeah.
Dotson, Demario Douglas, or Hunter Henry for a flex. Dotson, now that we know Brown, right?
Dotson, yeah.
Need 2 flex spots. Neighbors, McLaurin, Dobbins, White, and Reed.
Dobbins will be in 1 flex spot. Neighbors will be in – it'll be Neighbors and Dobbins. Those are the 2.
Evan Ingram's out today, Coop?
She's talking about.
So Malin, just put in chat.
Go back to every Christian Kirk question we got today. Change the answer to yes.
And Brian Thomas, right?
Yeah.
Evan Ingram ruled out with a hamstring warm-up, suffered during pregame warm-ups. Hamstring during pregame warm-ups for Evan Ingram.
What a curveball.
More Diggs, Collins, Dell. Pick one.
My brain is stuck with Evan Ingram hamstring. Probably it's Diggs, yeah.
Yeah, Pittman, Moore, Worthy, and London need 2. First 2?
Pittman needs Jim Moore, yeah.
Need 1, McLaurin, J-Mo, Brian Thomas.
Brian Thomas Jr. now.
Now, right? Godwin or Kamara for Dan.
It's Kamara. It's Kamara.
Yeah, it's Kamara.
I love those 2 players, man. You can't get them both in there. I think I have Godwin ranked like wide receiver like 15 this week.
Rodgers and Fields, do you trade Jones and leave? I can't really read this one. Sorry.
Would you trade? All right, QBs are Godwin. So it looks like super flex. Rodgers and Fields are the quarterback. Will you trade Aaron Jones and Rashi Rice for Herbert?
Oh, Crashy. That's what threw me off. I was like, what?
Crashy Rice. Got it. Yeah.
Throwing me off of your slang.
I would
there.
stick with Jones and Crashy Rice
for sure. Long term trade London Olave for Godwin. I really like Chris Godwin.
I do too. I would consider trading.
I would trade London for Godwin. I would Cousins looks.
Yeah, I would probably keep Olave, but.
And then last question, Kangas man, Kirk or Adams?
Whoa, it's Devontae Adams, dude. Let's not get too crazy.
I agree with you all. Guys, we all appreciate you tuning in this week. Make sure you check back every Sunday here. We'll be live. Give a like and a subscribe to the channel. It's a free way to support us here. And remember, Fantasy Alarm's got a 7-day free trial going on, fantasyalarm.com/win. Check us out. Good luck this week. We'll catch you later.